Hello, neighbors.
Is it working?
Yeah, it should be connected.
Let's warm up.
Sorry, dinner was late. I started late.
Warm up. Loading the
Beautiful
monitors.
day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for beauty. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a beautiful day in this beautyhood. A beautiful day for beauty. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? And I always wanted to have a neighbor just like you.
Hey, David. Andre, sorry, you're not first.
To live
Hey, Curves.
in this neighborhood and do so. Let's look at this beautiful day. Say, would you be mine?
Hey, Jed.
Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be? Won't you be? Please, won't you be? Just doing links as usual. You can't tell, but the seed is like the
Hey, Mitch. Eight's being first a milestone? I'm not sure what you mean, Curves, because it wasn't a question. It was a statement that you hate being first as a milestone. I never quite got that either. When people on a forum, for example, post first.
I see it more in YouTube videos.
Yeah, it is interesting, but I never quite understood the thoughts behind it. But I guess that's because I wasn't really ever catching up on shows. I was always just watching something as a set. Not like when the stream is on first to say hi. I wasn't really into that much.
In other news, Amos's fist. That
Yes!
is valid.
Oo nga. No, I shall acknowledge that. Fist gets my point.
Mitch is saying the lighting's too warm. It's hard there. It's hard. Okay, was this our color contrast is affected greatly by the shirts we wear. So this is like blinding. Unless you try the second one, but then like one more, yeah, but then super power it down. Then this is just practically ambient light.
What was I gonna say?
No, I'll just leave it at that. That's fine, I guess.
Ilaw is too yellow on the face.
We'll try our best for this. It's just this is a suggested topic, and I think it's born out of some things we mentioned in other episodes.
Hepatitis? No hepatitis. Hepatitis?
Oh my gosh!
No hepatitis.
In
Was the
other,
word jaundiced? Not jaundiced.
in other news, I only just discovered that despite my love for theme parks, that there was a weird little Mr. Rogers Neighborhood theme park attraction at Idlewild,
which in its own way was
super janky,
super scary.
super scary. But beyond that, it was only also last night that I learned that the Mr. Rogers legacy has been picked up in an animated series called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Same setting, but it's the next generation, and then it's animated. So they've updated the theme park already to match the animation. So now it's all flat, like only the arms are moving and stuff. So, but it's just so weird. So
I guess
weird.
it's also the cheaper way to do it.
That is true.
Now I know why. I was earlier wondering why is it more spacious than normal.
You don't have your
I
iPad.
don't have my iPad for that hammer.
And we should start.
Yeah, we should start. So with that, without further ado, this is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy, a little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It is completely unscripted, not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us, we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again.
Oh,
It's the 104th episode.
I didn't get to do my waiting message, but anyway. I did. Okay.
It's the 104th episode.
Oh, no. I'm clicking captions at random. Sorry.
And Rocky's going wild because we've hit 12!
Hey!
Well, 10. We did 10! Yay! Yay!
Don't go in my glass.
Tube Guy's so extra lately.
Oh, get out of my glass. You guys thirsty.
But yeah, we've hit that, people. Hey, Karen. Today's episode is all about
digital decluttering, or specifically organizing your computer files. This was a requested topic by Amos. I'm not sure why, and I don't know if we will do it justice.
Yeah.
But we will talk about how we manage our digital
or at
media.
least how we attempt to.
Yeah, at least how we try. I am scared to begin with Toby, but we should begin with Toby. Toby.
I don't manage.
Technically, you do. You have just a very strange way of doing it.
True.
Okay, so Toby accumulates a lot of, shall we say, digital media, whether it's movies, TV shows, comics. How do you handle that, Toby?
So for someone who used to just enjoy having them all on the computer, so I can easily use them when I need to, I got used to having anything else that was not in the computer in compact discs. And that was because we did live in an era before where music would
This is why
come from
CDR
music.
King became king.
Yeah, music would come from CDs, movies would come from VCDs. So it's all about having
Oh my god, remember that files for VCDs?
Yes.
You could copy it. Oh my
so
god.
so having all those discs was part of my routine. And as time progressed, there were of course external hard drives. But then I did experience losing what was then huge, but something like 4 gigs worth of files. And at that time that was huge.
Yeah, I mean the pros and cons of like large external hard drives, like those Western digital book things, is that one, it's like a lot of great storage, but then two, you really shouldn't move them around.
Yes.
But then if you're like us at the time, we were like using them as storage and then putting them away, then connecting the computer to store stuff, then putting them away.
Yeah, but I think in ours, losing mine was because of an accident. It was the cord across the table. Someone walked by.
But again, it's
And
also
drive
because
flew
it didn't have a permanent place. And yes, I know we probably should have like figured out a network solution for these things. But have you really tried transferring stuff like over LAN? It takes forever. It takes forever, especially with the modems of the time. I mean, supposedly there are better modems now, but I still find file transfers over LAN, even just from computer to computer, take forever. There's something about physical connections that really speeds that up. But that's, depending on your backup strategy. So Toby continues to burn discs, but now they're DVDs. They're no longer CDs. We have progressed.
I still like being able to track everything on discs. I like the idea that if a disc goes wrong, it's only that thing that got lost and not the entire storage.
That's fair. So it's like only 4 gig lost, which is funny because I was like tracking the drive.
That used to be the entire drive.
Yeah.
And then there was the idea of tracking things in a spreadsheet so that it's easier to keep track of what I already do have and don't have.
That was my contribution.
Yes, Carlo, we don't have a burner anymore. We have one external burner, which we got from CDR King some years back.
And it's still working.
Yes.
But you have to like weigh it down so that it doesn't shake as much and disrupt the burn. It's so funny.
Jed mentions SSD for mobile drives. Exactly. We did have one before.
No, but to be fair, none of our hard drives are SSD
Oh yeah,
drives.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
So
That's
then that's like
and
redundant.
that's more
But
expensive.
yeah, and to be fair, the prevalence of SSDs were not that common when the time
Mhm.
that we started all of our digital. Well, the origins of our digital
Mm.
organization.
So given that, I think I only have pictures from 2014 onwards. I think I
Mm,
lost everything prior to that.
that's sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so me, my biggest challenge has always been photos
Mhm.
because
Volume.
I sometimes take a lot, and then um, being the Google head that I am, I was very enamored initially by Picasa. Do you
Mhm.
remember Picasa, the desktop photo app? That it was a
That's what
separate
came
company.
after Multiply.
It was a separate company that Google purchased, and then their main claim to fame was organizing images on your computer
Mhm.
physically. So it would quickly scan your computer and help you index them. Then later on, they added in Google's facial recognition.
Yeah.
And then finally, later on, they added the option to back up your stuff to Picasa web albums.
Mhm.
And I put a lot of effort into that. And that was like, it was convenient because it would back it up and I could add the watermark
Mhm.
to the backup. So if you look at my older photos, they permanently have different watermarks, whether it's Geeky Guide,
Mhm.
RockySunico.com, or Baduy Pride, depending on like what I felt like I wanted to tag them to.
Mhm.
Um, this service eventually became Google Photos.
Yes.
So, yay, sort of. But we lost a lot of the good stuff, I think. I really miss the Picasa desktop app for some reason
Mhm.
because I could organize them into albums.
And I think you can batch upload them.
Well, because it would like be continuously uploading, but then I could organize them to albums on Picasa so
Mhm.
that when it synced them already in an organized manner. Google Photos isn't that bad, but it just dumps everything to the cloud. Okay.
Photo bucket is tedious and expensive, so I stopped using it.
Oh my God, yes. So Google Photos is like I accepted the transition to this platform, and for the longest time, if you uploaded them to what they call high quality size, which is 2048 pixels on the longest side, it's unlimited storage.
Mhm.
This is going away next year in June or July, depending if they stay on schedule. But that's not terrible because I have so much stuff. And they have promised to keep all images uploaded before that endpoint to be free and unlimited forever. So I got a lot of stuff. And my main
Mhm.
philosophy was that I don't super need the high resolution, the original high resolution images
Mhm.
because I'm never going to publish them for print.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a tarpaulin. So 2048 is not bad for an image size.
Mhm.
That's definitely more than a standard. Dare I say 3R?
Mhm.
Do people know what I mean when I say 3R? But yeah, actual photo. If you have your photos developed at the mall, it's a 3R size.
Carlos
Yeah.
says Picasa was Plurk days, and Mitch says also had a photo editor.
Yes, I would batch like it would do auto levels on all my images, which was great.
Mhm.
Google Photos can technically still do that, but they want you to edit photo by photo, and I'm not gonna bother. So guys, my photos are typically raw, super super raw. Um, Andre asking, only the high res will be paid for, ba? In this period, anything that is uploaded at original quality, which is above 2048 on the longest side, is already paid for.
Mhm.
Starting starting the new transition in June, July, all photos will count towards your storage limit.
David, of course, jokes 3R as in photo and not reduce, reuse, recycle.
3R, as in one of my teacher's nicknames for me in school, because my first name, which is three names, are all letter R. Flash fact.
David also earlier mentioned interesting instance of 104 Square Enix renumbered Shibuya's 109 building to 104 in a couple of games since 4 represents death.
Ooh, thank you for this random number fact. And now I suddenly realize, should we do something special for episode 108?
Ooh.
Because Stars of Destiny, guys.
We can have tea. Well, tea, and then we'll throw it away in fans. And
Oh my god! And then have to wear a cape and like be a flying whatever hamster. What were those things? Oh, those were
yeah,
tanuki,
I
no?
can't remember.
Those are flying
I think they
tanuki.
were tanuki.
Okay. Yeah. So 3 are the photo size, guys. But yeah. So that's like been my photo approach.
Mhm.
I adopted generally the same approach for backing up TV shows, and actually I used to back up the original
Mhm.
resolution of my photos
Mhm.
to DVD as well. On the off chance that I might need them one day. But I have diligently backed up everything to Google Photos slash Picasa slash whatever. I don't really care. I never understand when people complain about was this um having too many photos
They
on their
probably
phone.
always shoot in burst mode.
No, it hey, okay. It's what I mean is because I back up all my photos now
Back up, back
automatically,
up, back up.
then I don't care what is on my phone
No,
because it
Amos isn't
backs
like.
up constantly. Yeah, he just joined early
I
on.
thought to
He was
suggest
fists.
this because I recently realized the need to organize digital files now as I accumulate more of them in the cloud.
And that is tricky. And we're gonna get the cloud. We're getting the cloud.
Yes.
Google Photos is already like a cloud solution, but so I've segmented all my photos in Google Photos,
Mhm.
which also backs up my video, which also gets imported to YouTube. So when you see my OBAR videos, all started as Google Photo stuff.
Mhm.
The main thing that helped me move on from saying I wish Picasa was still around was I gave up on dedicated cameras.
Oh, I thought it was because of the Google Auto. Awesome.
That was also part of it. You don't like my auto awesome things?
Wait, you don't know what that is?
Oh my god. When Google Photos first launched, it used to brag about auto awesome, which is now creations for you or
Mhm.
something like that in the menu, which is basically them trying to do interesting things with your photos. At its most basic, it will make like quick collages of photos that are taken within a similar span of
Mhm.
time. If you burst shots, it makes GIFs automatically. It also suggests albums. This is not even a Google photo situation, but okay, you can keep doing that. It can suggest albums based on location and time. It can create movies,
Mhm.
quote unquote movies of your day, which are really just slideshows. Or if you upload different video clips, it can make like a mini movie for
So
you.
it's doing everything Facebook tries to do and sounds special.
Yeah, and then it's like it also suggests photos that should be archived so that they're not in your main Google Photo stream.
Mhm.
It looks for photos that are in the wrong orientation. So like when you took a picture but you forgot to wait for the gyroscope to kick in.
And it
A lot of stuff, and
and
then
it tries to tag photos.
and it tries to match photos to faces. I swear, face recognition was better in the Picasa days. And
Mhm.
then when I went to Google Photos, it just struggled. I felt that Picasa was better at identifying drag queens more than Google Photos is today. This is a unique problem
But
I
I think
have.
it's also because the makeup now has the illusion aspect that distorts features.
Maybe.
Whereas the makeup before was tended to be beautifying.
Hmm.
And it didn't try to change the shape of your brow and
Maybe,
shape.
maybe.
So
But then that was like the time like some of the drag queens had like the same makeup.
exactly, but it was still their face. So the contouring didn't disrupt.
Hmm. Possibly.
Whereas now everyone's trying to be Trixie Mattel. So
Whoa! Whoa, what is this statement? And this is Toby saying that we were talking about if you do the Trixie and Katya topic that's in the suggestion queue, then it's like, oh, you're gonna do most of the talking. What was that? What was that? What is this Trixie makeup shade?
this
Hey,
kiss.
hey, Curves, I'm so sorry that the stream is not working out for you tonight, but thank you for trying to join.
Mm,
Okay, so yeah, so Google Photos is like my be all end all. And then the even though the
world ends with you.
even though storage is going to be paid for moving forward, I still feel that Google Photos is one of the most awesome ways to manage your photo content,
Mhm.
keep it off your phone, and organize equally. I have Google Photos on my laptop, and it specifically monitors my screenshot folder from Screen Hunter. so that everything I screenshot for work like quickly gets dumped up, and then I can like organize. So it helps
And
me.
I put all my photos in Drive,
Google Drive.
as well as all my music.
That's yes. This is Toby's approach. Toby, would you like to explain more about your backup efforts?
I just decided to keep everything in one spot. I used to have photos in a different place. I used to have files backed up manually in drives, in physical drives. But then there came the situations of when I first shifted to a different laptop, and oh my god, it was so much hell trying to get things back to the way they were. And then when I started to work on a work laptop, again, all this effort to try to connect the things. So I realized if I just had them all in Drive, maybe it'll be easier for me. And so far that has helped, but it has now forced me to up my subscription.
Yeah, Toby has already been paying for storage. How much
So
do you pay per
from
month?
the 89 pesos a month,
Mm,
which was for 1 or 2 terabytes,
mm.
I now pay the higher tier, which I think was 150, 170. It wasn't
You
that
should get
much.
the annual plan.
Yeah, I was thinking about
You
getting the
should get the
annual plan.
annual plan because
I
you'll
no, I
save
think
like 2 months.
wait, I think I paid for the annual plan.
Oh, that
That
would
was
be
the
good
one
then.
four per year, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
got
yeah. So, I mean, Google One solutions are kind of awesome, and then they also allow you to share with the household. I'm totally gonna sell it, right? So I don't mind needing to buy storage eventually. But to be fair to Toby, it's not because he really has that many files. It's also because what's this? Okay, his main problem is that in his different offices that have also used Google Drive, a lot of them kind of was this because the files were not owned by a G Suite account, but were owned by individuals.
They were still under my account, so they were eating up my space.
Yeah, every time they get
And-
shared and stuff, then it consumes
and
your
that
stuff.
includes everything from receiving files from the client, which I then had to re-upload to the drive for the team to use. So
Then it's like
suddenly,
tagged to him as he's
if
the
it's
owner of the
if it's
files.
400 MB worth of video, for example, for the team to review, that's 400 MB eating up from my space.
Yeah, that's
And
a bit
then
of a pain.
everything from the video and photos from the POCs, from the out of town trips, and like they were all loading up on my drive.
That's a lot of stuff.
So it took a while for the office to catch up, but while they were not ready, I had to manage things on my own. So yeah,
Check the pricing.
this is Google One.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the data thing.
So yeah, so I used to be 200 GB. Yeah, that's what I used to have.
You did get the annual. It's quoting you the annual rates now. Yeah. No, you're at 200 gig.
Wait, why is this bigger? It used to be the 89 pesos a year. This is the year. Sorry.
No, this
89
is
a month.
this is just this is what you have, and then this is what it's recommending. Don't click. Don't click. You're changing your plans.
Oh, okay.
What's happening?
I don't know. I'll check.
Don't. Okay, or just go to Drive and then see what you have.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Karen saying the price is not bad. No, the Google storage prices aren't that bad at all. There are a few other things. So, because Amos was specifically asking about his organization. So yeah, so file organization is Google Photos for me particularly. I would recommend, again, if you don't care about the high resolution stuff, upload it to high quality now, and then double check. If you go to photos.google.com/storage, you can check your storage usage now and whether or not your images are compressed, and then you can choose to compress them. Just do so before the charge date. And then, so like, look, you're still using 4 gig worth of Google Photos. So you can compress that and then it will become 0, which is like the screenshot I shared today to advertise today's episode.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you're still on the yeah, you haven't upgraded, I think. I think we just went for the annual of the plan.
No, I know I upgraded.
There, you have 200 gig as the Google One
Yeah,
membership.
from the original, I think the smallest one was, I forgot what the smallest one. I don't think this was the smallest one.
Okay. So, there's that. There are a lot of file storing things, and then I ended up using several, but depending on what I want them for. So let's start with the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Dropbox. Do people still use Dropbox? Dropbox was cool in the sense that the referral program was very popular
And very generous.
and very generous. So that I think a lot of people have pretty decent Dropbox storage. But then, like most of us, you probably only have like 2 gig or something, which isn't a lot. What I like about Dropbox is that its desktop sync features are some of the best. Um, and it's easier to share it with friends. So we primarily use Dropbox for RPG material. So the PDFs for the RPGs are all shared in a Siege Gaming Dropbox, which is only shared with active players that we are running campaigns with. So when they need access to the books, it's easily found there. And since it syncs to desktop, then I don't have problems. I mean, a lot of the other apps now do the same thing, but I still feel Dropbox has much better file organization and a better file sync, and then it does faster sharing. Like if I share a file with Toby over Dropbox, it knows that we're on the same network, and then it shares over LAN versus over the internet, which would be going up to the cloud and coming down again. So that's something for like files that are in regular rotation that you want to share with other people. And then um, oh wow, Carlo, that sounds shady.
Which one?
He's using some weird Team Drive account that he got from Lazada, so they're violating G Suite terms and conditions. But then, was this unlimited storage is going away except for enterprise G Suite accounts, especially as everybody is forced to transition to Google Workplace in January. So you may want to be careful about that.
Mhm.
That will be a problem. To be fair, um, um, if even if we're just a G Suite business plan that transitions to the equivalent Google Workplace plan, everyone on the account still gets the equivalent of 4 terabyte of storage per user that is pooled across all users. So it's still a lot of storage. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, if you already paid for it, you might as well just pay for like actual backup. I feel rather than risking um, was this if it's a team drive, Carlo? My main warning to you is you do not own your own files. It belongs
Yes.
to the organization. So if the organization, yeah, deletes and folds up, you will lose your files. So that's scary.
Mhm.
So there's that. Um, Another place to get storage, conveniently for other stuff, is the fact that what's this? I um I get I still needed Microsoft. Okay, I'm one of those obsessive people. So I still feel I need, as much as I love Google, I love G Drive and G Drive apps. I still use Microsoft, so I got a 365 subscription.
Mhm.
It's a personal one; it's not even a company one. But that comes with at least 1 terabyte of OneDrive storage per user, and even the what was this the 365 product, you can create up to 5 user accounts, and each of those users have a terabyte. So I make one for Toby,
Mhm.
um, but then we don't really, you
The
don't super
OneDrive?
use it. Yeah,
No,
you use it as
that's where I back up the stuff for my writing.
see. So I also use it for long-term storage. So things that I don't need regular access to, but I'm keeping copies of. So
Mhm.
I keep backups of like RPG material,
Mhm.
digital comics that I took the time to download, some of my digital books, and then like stock photography that I purchased or things
Mhm.
like that. So I dump a lot of stuff
Yeah.
into my OneDrive. So Toby, it's your writing.
Yeah. So it's time stamped. Like all the files are backed up at this month and this year, and then if I do another backup, I don't touch this just so that it's sort of my I can go back to that portion of the file if I need to. It's also protection so that in the future, if someone says, actually this only came out of this year, actually no, you can see my notes are from this way back.
That helps. That
Yeah.
helps. I mean, and then as much as what's this Microsoft Office on desktop, when you create documents, it saves it to a folder that theoretically syncs with your OneDrive.
Mhm.
I must admit that working that way though slows you down Because when it tries to autosave and sync to the
Every
cloud
time.
while you're working,
Yeah.
super slows you down, especially for PowerPoint.
Mhm.
Okay, but it's a
And
it's a thing.
and I've had the panic of crap happening, and then it's auto saving, and then you're like, wait, no, don't. I hate that.
Yeah. That's the things you can't quite get away from Microsoft. And I've
Mhm.
never really explored Microsoft 365 Office 365 online options like its equivalent of G Suite desktop productivity. I don't feel comfy. I still use G Suite for that sort of thing. But why do I maintain Microsoft? Because desktop Excel, I mean Microsoft Excel is still one of the best spreadsheet programs.
Mhm.
And then I mean, pivoting on Excel is so much better than pivoting on G Suite. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
Pivoting on G Suite is like pivoting with Excel 2003. Ah, very messy. Okay. And then my G Drive, I keep more revolving stuff that's active. So it's like our finance trackers.
Yeah.
Some of my active writing is there.
Mhm.
Uh, um, and it's like all my digital statements because I converted all my bills to digital and then I put them all there.
I think the main reason I placed everything in a single drive, literally Google Drive, was that realization that in the end, some services eventually do fold,
There is that.
and you'll be forced to download everything again and find a new service. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought I might as well just have it in one place.
That's true. There's too. That's the convenience factor. It's like people who use Apple
Mhm.
iCloud. Like, I mean, like, I'm not an Apple user, but then Apple iCloud makes it so much easier to back up there, and I understand a lot of Mac users going there by default.
Mhm.
So I think the long story short is, regardless of the service that you use, is that dedicate. You might want to dedicate yourself to it and make sure it's a reliable service.
Yes.
If you're, I admittedly, as much as I'm a Google head, I also know that Google kills free products over and over and over again.
Wave, we miss you.
Google Wave, Google Reader, all these things. So there is that. If you
What
don't,
was the social network?
which one?
Circles? No.
Oh, you Google Plus. You
Plus.
mean yeah? But then like, I thought you meant there was the Orkut. Orkut. Oh my God! Remember the one that was super popular in Brazil? Google. What were you thinking? Okay, so but yeah. So I mean, especially if it's your personal stuff, then
Carlos
invest
says
in
Google Feed Reader and Google Inbox.
Um, Feed Reader is actually Feed Burner because it was an independent service that was purchased by Google.
Hmm.
I've gotten people emailing me like, "Do you want to switch your RSS feeds to ours instead of Feed Burner?" And like, I don't even care about my RSS anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things like this. So the main message being sometimes you feel like if you don't pay for it, then you risk losing it.
Yes.
So it's nice. The paid services are okay. And then Google is definitely making a massive shift to recognize that they need to charge stars. Oops. Turned off my assistant. They recognize that they need to start charging for data more. So this big change to Google is trying to push over to Google One,
Mhm.
but then $90 a month is really not bad for
Yes.
200 gig.
And I was happy with that until I started backupping everything.
Okay, because to be fair, what the Toby's main project of backup is his music CD collection.
So I pretty much ripped all of them, save for a very small selection of CDs I still want to keep.
See, do people know the difference between burning and ripping?
And I know this is still a temporary thing because in time I might decide to jump into one of those streaming services. I'm always worried because there's always the possibility that certain things aren't there. Same with comics.
The DRM
I
environment.
still enjoy getting comics the way I do because even if I look at Comixology sometimes, I don't see certain titles.
Mm-mm.
And there's that. I don't want to devote to that and not get the titles I want.
But you're not devoted. You're logged into my account.
Exactly.
And I purchased more than enough comics for both of us.
Exactly. And it still doesn't always have the titles I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, so figure out your storage and then um okay. Google has been ever since the launch of Gmail. Has This is mostly a Google thing. This is how I organize my life. Has mostly been trying to convince people search, don't sort. So folder systems are helpful, but shouldn't be required. If you label your files well, if you know Google search shortcuts, then
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to find stuff very quickly. For example, just in Gmail, searching for all your emails that have attachments
Mm-hmm.
just means adding the operator has colon attachments. Um, then you can quickly find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a mixed feeling about organization in the Google era. I mean, like, I still like creating quote unquote folders, or as they originally were called, labels, whether in Drive or in Gmail,
Mm-hmm.
so that I have a general sense of where the stuff is. But really, if I'm looking for something, I'm going to search for it, and I'm not going to browse through the folders.
Mm-hmm.
That's the that's how I feel it is. So the bigger organization effort was making sure we know where what is in each service. So which has my comic backups, which has my financial documents, which has all these things.
Andre just said the same thing twice.
Oops.
So yeah.
Other, I don't know, last things about file organization. But yeah, I think uh so the Toby's pain that he mentioned, transferring computers. So I've experienced that many times because of work.
Mm-hmm.
So I very early on became divorced from local storage. I hate things that are only available on one device.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always looking for cloud solutions. It's why I use a lot of G Suite documents, sheets and slides for stuff. And then thankfully I'm in a G Suite office,
Mm-hmm.
so then I didn't have to relearn things for like how we organize things at work. Um, but there is an advantage to it, especially if you change devices, and just making sure that even your phone has access to your files and not just your desktop computer. So things like I have scans of my passport in my G Drive. I
Mm-hmm.
have scans of other important documents, so that if I need to show them at, like, I don't know, the cell phone location or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, then I can always get it on my phone. Or like I need them for the bank, then I have them on my phone. Um, it's just making stuff accessible and easily pulled together.
Yeah.
It's just that Google Photos is a super specialized solution for my photos, and I love it. And the space is shared across G Drive, so it's okay if I have to buy storage. Officially, 1 year after the transition, they estimate based on my data usage,
Mm-hmm.
I have a year before I have to pay. um, any other last things? I'm sorry, this made me Google nerding out. Is this what they wanted? Is this what they're trying to trigger?
Yeah, I presume so.
That's it. Toby, don't leave me hanging.
No, there's nothing else for me to share because I don't do much digital decluttering. Um. What else?
Okay,
Inbox cleaning. Do you make sure your inbox is clean?
Toby's inbox is not clean. I've seen his email inbox, and then I'm like, uh, it's a concern. So I'm an inbox zero person. The best way to manage the inbox zero is remembering that Gmail can snooze emails, which is super awesome. So like you get a bill and you know it's due later in the month and you don't want to pay it yet, you can snooze that email for like 2 days before the due date, so that it pops up and it reappears in your inbox. So you don't have to make final decisions on everything in your inbox right away.
Mhm.
I'm always making sure that I label it and then I move it away.
Scanning documents. You can mention the app.
Okay, there are two ways to scan documents that I still use. One is Cam Scanner, which is a cute little app that it's a little tedious if you don't pay, because I find that the experience is not great, but the scanning quality is
Mhm.
great. I use There's a Google Photo Scan app which connects to Google Photos, which is originally designed for scanning like physical photos, 3R photos, and then you can use it to scan documents as well. I use it to scan board game
It
covers.
has you scan the four corners, and then it builds a
A
clearer, high
clearer
resolution.
composite, and you just have to be you have to be very careful about balancing your phone as you scan.
Mhm.
But then admittedly there are a lot of great scanning apps that can help you scan your documents. But I will always also say that wherever possible, get your bills in digital form.
Mhm.
If you can get rid of the mail, so like my BPI statements come in digital form. Well, I can download them digitally from the app. I no longer get the physical mail ones. My Globe bills all come via email. My PLDT bill comes via email. I don't want to like deal with that.
Mitch suggests for email, I add filter for calendar invites away from the inbox.
Oh, that's true. I mean, like to be fair, if you spend time looking at Google Gmail Labs features, which are still around there, you can do things like choosing how to organize your inbox and all these different things. Jed asking, are my Google Photos organized? Oh my God, Jed, yes. Don't you see every time we go to Obar and then I get to share a curated album from that Obar night?
But we don't have access to your photos. That's why they can't really see it.
Well, I'm not going to share stuff in public, but if they are asking if they're organized, yes. And then I have a general dump folder every month, which is always labeled month, year, um, name of month, geeky moments. So it's like May geek moments or
Mhm.
June geek moments. Then photos that I don't know where else to classify, I dump them there for the month.
Mhm.
So I can at least know that if I want to find random photos I may have taken in May 2020, I have a folder for that. But if they were specifically part of events, like we went to Obar or we went to another country, then I will organize them accordingly.
As their own folder.
Yeah, as their
folder.
own album. I make so many albums. It's fun. Amos is enjoying label and snooze. Oh my God, everybody should be snoozing emails. Because the challenge of Inbox Zero is that you keep thinking, I need to make a final decision on whatever is in the email all the time.
Mhm.
And no, you don't. Snooze them for when you need to make a decision. And the rest, archive. At least label it and then archive it so that you can find it later. Star stuff when you need to, if it's really important for follow up. But I find starring emails not a super great classification system over time once you have so many stars.
Everything's a star. There's no distinguishing things between stars.
Yeah, I mean, like there is a Google Labs feature which lets you turn the star into many different symbols, but you have to toggle through each symbol. It's a little tedious. And then it doesn't work well with the search operators because I think it just looks for starred in all.
Jay mentions Google Keep.
This is the one thing where I'm not a Google person. I feel very bad. I have gone through many digital notebooks,
Mhm.
starting from there was this beautiful one I used to use. It was more aesthetic than functional, but I super got into it, and it had unlimited mobile sync. And then that didn't work out for me. That service closed down, and then I went to Evernote, which was very green, and then it had limited mobile sync, and I wasn't happy. So eventually, I went to OneDrive because again, I'm paying for a Microsoft Office subscription. It has a limited sync, really good tabbed organization, which was similar to the original digital notebook program I used. So I still use OneNote and I don't use Google Keep because when Google Keep came out, it was not robust enough for my note taking needs. I like being able to create notebooks and pages and things.
And it's
So
being discontinued.
what is it
Feb,
really?
Feb 21.
Just the Chrome app.
Ah,
Just the Chrome app.
it's going to become a Google Keep on the web.
Yeah. So they just want you to keep it on the web app. That's fine. So
This is part of the company's long-term plan of killing all Chrome apps.
I feel that. Chromebooks are gonna die or something. They're just making everything web based and not hosting apps in the Chrome browser because it's just eating up so much memory. Amos says, no, but isn't it true, Evernote? What do you remember about Evernote? It's freaking green. It's just super, super green. Okay. But yeah, so depending on whatever your notebook thing, that's fine. I don't even use Google Tasks. I feel bad. Because I've
Sorry, Carla.
because I am not a person who likes making tasks in that manner because they're static without a lot of reminders. So what I use instead on Google Calendar, you can set reminders.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like those because they are part of my daily agenda. They have timed notifications based on the deadline I set for them, and then I can clear them out, and then I can make them recurring. So you can't really see my specific calendar, but
Too bright.
yeah, I have to lower brightness. But the anything in orange, it's super bright orange. Those are reminders for me. So these are tasks that I have to do. So like on weekends, like there's like so many over there. So so you don't just create. It's not creating an appointment for a task. There is a reminder function on Google Calendar, which I still like more than tasks. That's a personal organization decision. It's just a funny thing. Mitch is like, I have 3 files in my drive as Scratch docs slide sheets for quick copy paste before sending it to the actual file. That's cute. I used to have I have a quick notes page on my OneNote. I don't really do the same in G Suite.
I used to use Notepad, but then the new Notepad now still has the formatting, so it kind of ruined the plan. Because I hate it sometimes when you copy and paste stuff to email and then the formatting gets all messy. And even if you try killing the formatting, now it's all just a clump of text. And
yeah, I mean, like, and then if you go line by line, Control Shift V, which is pasting without format, it's still clunky.
Yeah.
Jay also likes Google Calendar. He helps him keep his life on track. Me too. I appointment everything. I appointment our games. I used to appointment our overnights. I appointment our theater dates. Even like it's like Toby, you want to watch a movie after work? And then sure. And then I bought tickets. And then
I'll see the reminder.
And then I will look up the duration of the movie. And then I will program a calendar reminder specific to the duration of the movie. Send Toby an invite. And then tada. This is despite the fact that I have full view visibility on Toby's calendar. And then we have a separate shared public calendar for our game nights. So there's a gaming calendar that you can subscribe to just for that.
And then that's different from my work calendar, which is not really my calendar, but someone else in the office.
What? Why? Why? I'm always concerned. I try not to interfere in Toby's digital life or his organization.
It's a world of its own.
David says it's a super nice touch to make appointment reminders for everything. Yes, I remind myself of was this as much as Facebook tells us about everybody's birthdays, if the person is really important to me, I also make a Google Calendar reminder for their birthday so that it is independent of Facebook. And even when people hide their birthdays, I still know when your birthday is. Because I know who you are. There are people who have hidden their birthdays. But that's cool. As much as possible, I always try to complete my address books. Anyone who has known me, and if we set up an appointment to like game together, you'll eventually have me like trying to nicely ask,
what's your email so I can
could
send
I
you
get your email so I can send you a calendar reminder?
Thank you, Mitch. Yes, I'm aware of that one.
Yeah, Control Shift V is a gift, guys. It's a gift.
Do you try to fill all the slots in your calendar?
No, that's madness. I don't calendar routine. If it's routine things I need to do, I'm not the type to allocate time, but I will put task reminders. So things like finish Elevate every day, it's there. Duolingo, it's there. Reset the server, it's there. These things. Although I know that if you program the birthdays of people into Google Contact, you can sync it as calendar items on your
appear as
calendar.
items.
But I haven't really cleaned up my contact list to that degree. I really should. Rather than the roundabout, I create calendar reminders for everything. They're all recurring every year infinitely. And then flashback. If I stop caring about the person's birthday, I delete the calendar recurrence. So it only lasts until a certain point. So if I go back in my history, I will see the years that I remembered this person's birthday
and when you stop,
when they were still important, and the year I stopped. Because I'm shady that way. Plus, anything you program on your Google Calendar, you can sync it to your Google Home, and then it will tell you what is happening when you say good morning. I was very careful; it didn't trigger. Okay, you can set up your morning routine in Google Home, and it will read your calendar to you. But it only reads my personal calendar. I haven't synced my work, and I don't want to sync my work to my personal because that's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
I guess the last decluttering we can talk about is desktop.
Desktop. My desktop is clean.
So,
Largely. The only things there are like super, super important things I need access to, which is basically where I dump files to
mhm,
stream them to the Chromecast.
mhm.
Um,
And then icons and apps for your mobile devices. You keep them in groups.
yeah, I got groups. Uh, oh, did I? I already changed my brightness. But so my homepage is half calendar. That's how important my calendar. It's search bar calendar, and then these are all folders, and then shortcuts to certain to what it's like phone, email, because Gmail is also access to Google Chat and Google Meet for G Suite users. Chrome browser, Google Play Store, camera, and then everything is like organized and stuff. Although um, I have a redundant Google folder, so there are apps that are in multiple
Hmm.
folders because I also have work, which is like all the G Suite stuff. And then I have a social folder, which is surprisingly small, which is different from the talk folder, which is all chat apps and Growler. Uh, but then, but then Skype for some. I don't know. It's there. It's there. Okay. Uh, but yeah, I have health. I have tools,
Hmm.
which is like my different stuff, push bullet and the like cam scanners there. I have one for security. It's all security apps, including Steam because Steam Guard. Um,
Carlos says, I want to only have one page for my phone desktop.
I could do that, but then my philosophy for this is everything that is more serious is on my homepage, and then I have
Hmm.
one page for all my non-essential. So games are all here, comics are here, Audible is here, Spotify is here. So it's really work, not work, work, not work.
So mine's a mess. It's in multiple pages and they're not even arranged in the grid. But it's because it's muscle memory, so I can press them while I'm driving or while I'm doing groceries.
You know, they could be organized, and you train muscle
No,
memory,
no,
and
I
then
don't.
that's
I don't want
fine,
to. I
right?
don't want to retrain my fingers. They're already happy to press there. So that's how mine is. And then on the iPad, it's more just I lump whatever is together. So there's no organization beyond just all the board games are in one spot, and then another folder for more board games, and then another folder for time sync type of games, and then another folder for brainy games.
Yeah, I don't understand Toby's game folders. And then there are at the very last page the new games that haven't been sorted that are
Because
just hanging out
because
there.
they're
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 test
they're test
games.
games, and if I like it, I'll promote them to a folder. But if I don't like them, I delete.
Yeah. Mitch mentions IFTTT, which I do use to a limited degree. But I think the most useful thing I've only gotten out of it is every time I post a photo to Instagram, it publishes the same photo to Twitter instead of the native Instagram to Twitter share, which is a link.
Hmm.
So that's like the main thing I have configured. I used to have all these stupid things like every time my phone battery is low, it's gonna log it on a Google Sheet. Those stupid things that everybody tries when they first do if then else. No point. The only other thing I think is the weather. I get weather updates, but then that's about that's about it.
Hmm.
Um,
I actually have to redo now my screen. Come to think of it,
which screen?
because I do still have a screen that was vital for my driving time,
Oh, but
but
you're
I
not
barely
really
drive anymore.
driving.
So
I don't because I don't need a lot of automation. I think, and though I thank you for the suggestion, Carla, of Llama Soft. But yeah, because when I realized I can barely use IFTT. Then why am I gonna use anything else? It's like I'm not that kind of a workflow person. Um, so yeah, I'm not that technical in that regard. I'm sure there are other things I could possibly do. I really should turn stuff off. I think I think there was a Google Sheet that is still logging every Wi-Fi network I connect to, and every time I have low battery. It's like, why am I doing this? I don't know. I don't know. I still like Push Bullet though. Push Bullet lets me sync multiple phones in terms of like their SMS, and
Mhm.
then it pushes it to my browser, and then I can answer on any, which is essential since I have a work phone for Singapore and a thing in my regular
It
phone.
shares. I like phone launcher that sort apps alphabetically, other than having it organized per app category.
I haven't really experimented with launchers. I just do it's and there I'm ironic with my apps where I still have them in folders and then muscle memory also. Like I can you get stuck in those muscle memory loops. Like you open
Mhm.
Twitter, you close Twitter, you want to open another browser,
You're pressing certain
you open
spots already,
Twitter again.
and that was annoying when things sometimes auto adjust, and you're like, yeah, why did you open that one?
Yeah. So I get stuck in app loops where like I open the app, there's nothing new. I close the app. I think I'll look at another app. I
But you
open the
open it
app
again.
again. Fingers, what are you doing? Yeah. So that's like I think that's our main contribution to this. So I don't know if this was really helpful for people. I think it takes a certain type of person to
There's
want
one
to.
last, because
Oh,
this is digital decluttering.
okay.
Bookmarks.
That's sad. That's sad.
But we have to talk about
Once upon a
bookmarks.
time, once upon a time, I used a bookmark service, a bookmark syncing service. This was
Mhm.
before Chrome browsers sync on their
Mhm.
own. And the main joy was that I programmed it on Toby's computer
Mhm.
so that we had a shared folder for links we wanted to share with each other.
Yes.
And so,
More so because you had your night shift.
yeah, so that Toby would leave me articles to read at night, and then I would leave him stuff to read the
Mhm.
next day. Um, it was fun. It was one of these weird aspects of our
Mhm.
early relationship. Uh, but
It
yeah,
also allowed us to start. I guess the word would be consolidating stuff, in the sense that, oh, so that's where you download stuff to, and we
yeah,
started
we
putting them
started
together.
sharing things.
And then domestic stuff we started putting in the banks that we contact and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but then admittedly, like Carla mentions, he doesn't really use bookmarks anymore. And I think a lot of us don't because
I still do.
when they synchronize the search bar as your URL bar and stuff, and then it's not as essential. Bookmarks are helpful for prompting autocomplete. Like if you have bookmarked certain sites, then you're searching in the
Mhm.
browser, then it will autocomplete your bookmarks first.
Mhm.
So that's helpful.
So you
But
don't refresh your autocomplete. When you let that clean out.
what do you mean?
When you do the clear
No, I keep
browsing history and
I
all
have
that.
Google Web History on.
Mm.
I have Google Web History on. It synchronizes everything, but then I accepted the limit of I only sync up until 2 years, I think, or 18 months, and
Mhm.
then it deletes older data beyond that.
Maybe I should
So
do that.
so I trust Google to help me find my stuff. So I don't really bookmark as much anymore. Um, it not as useful. At most, I have a home screen for my Chrome browser so that when I start a new tab, it has either my most used or certain apps that are always there. But then I don't. Admittedly, I'm not a bookmark person anymore because again, search, don't sort. That's I've embraced that
I like
philosophy.
bookmarks because you could set up a folder and then it opens all the bookmark
Ah,
stuff.
that's true. That's a classic bookmark feature where open all links in folder.
Mhm.
I missed. I that's fun. That's fun.
Famous shares. I have a porn folder. I did read that right.
Which
Yes.
happens,
It
yes.
happens to include a random range of think pieces.
Well, everybody has different porn. Whatever does it for you.
Hmm.
So if heavy thought pieces are great, then hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
Bookmarks is the only thing I don't bother with anymore. Shares Carlo. How about auto declutter apps like Google Files?
I was kind of like not as I got it. I got Google Files because I wanted to see what it could do. I wasn't as impressed with it. Um, but maybe also because I'm already a maniac in terms of how I organize things. Because the things it normally suggests you do is like Do you want to free up your WhatsApp
or you
media?
haven't been using this for quite some
It keeps telling me
time.
to delete apps I haven't been using, but I'm like, sorry, I'm gonna keep this app. I know I haven't used Waze in months. I am going to keep Waze on my phone. Um, and then large file things and stuff. So it's kind of helpful, but then I still think like there was a time I used to use CCleaner, the CCleaner mobile app, and that was still like more effective.
Mhm.
Or Samsung devices all have like native file management and auto clean stuff,
Mhm.
which helps you clear temp files. So that's like already decent. So you don't necessarily want a dedicated app for extra stuff. Because admittedly, I have storage problems in my main phone in
Mhm.
my main phone drive because of apps.
And sometimes phones keep wanting to save in the main, even if you have extended memory.
Because they only use extended memory for media. So it's
Mm.
only photos and like downloaded comics and stuff. But then apps are always in the main.
Mhm.
So you're stuck and it gets
Yes.
very annoying. Um, so yeah, Google Files is like cute, but I think I might delete it soon. It didn't really create a lot of space for me. I'll just use the native app from Samsung for now.
Amos clarifies they were just there through misclicks. I never bothered to organize them.
The lady doth protest too much, methinks. It's okay.
Yeah,
Whatever works for
but
you.
even foreign folders, I still organize things. It's either I organize it on the name of the actor I'm following, or because they all share a certain feature in the show.
I don't have a porn portal anymore. I'm like too busy reading 365 books a year to think about organizing porn. I mean, I think, and it's also because I maybe have like what a handful of sites left that I maybe look at,
Mhm.
and then um, I don't need a whole folder for
Yeah,
it.
it's not moving as much as well.
Yeah, right. You reach a point where porn is like tiring to organize, and like,
Or you end up reading about their career instead. Oh, he stopped.
and there's Twitter. I mean, like, let's face it, Twitter is a mess, and it will give you news about their life as careers,
Exactly.
and you can interact with adult entertainers directly.
Haven't
So
gotten to that point.
I don't want to do that either. It feels weird to like have them on my main, but I it's a thing you can do. You can have conversations with porn stars. So who needs folders of third party content? Go straight to the source. Little things.
Okay, I think that covers everything, and we are 3 minutes away from an hour. So I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, like, I will just continue to espouse the benefits of Google Photos, at least for that. That's my main, like, campaign. Like, people, people, why do you keep why are all your photos forever on your phone? Even Toby at least backs up his stuff from his iPad because he takes photos with his iPad
And video.
and video. So he's that dude. He's that dude carrying an iPad doing media. But yeah, if the biggest change I can recommend for everyone is like embrace the Google Photos lifestyle and get everything up there. Cause see, look, this is just all my photos. Then it's like it's all super there organized or um um loading slowly. But then my albums are here. But it's in the middle of a sync, so then it's
There.
like, see, look, it's all Transformers. It's all Transformers. Because I have an album per toy that I opened. And then, yay, Star Trek ships. I also have one for important files that I've scanned. Things like my mom's Mabuhay Miles card.
Or any other documents.
Yeah, that I need regularly. Like you know what's like super annoying? Do you have the Abinson Plus card? That stupid rewards card for Abinsons? They switched to a fully digital format, and then their main thing is they ask you to save a screenshot of the barcode from the website, make a folder for that crap, put it there, and then name it important scans. Then it's easy to find. Because search, don't sort. Cargill just downloaded Google Calendar. We'll try to incorporate. Oh, and then my home screen, that's the official Google Calendar widget. It's
Mm.
super awesome. It's resizable. So that's
Mm.
why it occupies half my screen. I organize, and then I have it on agenda view, not on time view. so that it only shows calendar items. I've also synchronized public calendars for like Philippine holidays, Singapore holidays, my birthdays, and other things about us. No. Mitch is thanking for the reminder. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sad that Google Photo storage is no longer unlimited by mid next year, but it's a small price to pay for an awesome organization
Mm-hmm.
service. And
And it's nice how it's all integrated with each other.
oh, best thing for parents, guys. Was this best thing but creepy thing? It recognizes baby faces fairly well, and then it will do reminders of when the baby first appears. It, so I have then and now photos of my nephew, like 1 to 2 years apart, and it's like, oh my god, this is crazy. This is crazy. There was this. It made this memory video of like shared videos of the baby
Mhm.
that I shared it with the mother, and it was awesome. She super liked the moment. So Google Photos creations are still great things.
It's like having a secretary looking at all your photos and finding interesting connections that you might want to show off.
I super love it. I super
Or
love
get
it.
creeped out.
Or get creeped out. It really depends on how much you trust. But I trust Google. I super do because
More than Facebook.
oh yeah, because remember, Google's main goal is to make the world's information universally searchable, and useful. And if you don't use the stuff you're saving, then what's the point?
Why are you keeping it?
Yes, then why are you keeping it? And but then we have all these stacks of DVDs that we now need to explain because they don't fit this philosophy sometimes. Uh, okay, I think that's it. All right,
That's definitely an R.
we got to wrap up.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. We hope you'll join us again next time.
If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill up the Google form. It's a Google form on my Google Drive at Baduy Pride Ideas. Thank you again to Amos who suggested today's topic. I hope that you still got something out of this. I'm not sure if this episode went the way you thought it would, but thank you so much for suggesting today's episode.
Thank you also to Google for
for changing my life many, many years ago.
you might want to sponsor this episode.
We're considering this is also showing on YouTube, which is monetized to some limited degree. They kind of are. Okay. You can follow us on Twitter. All Toby No Shade. RG Sunico.
You could also check out our blog. That's baduypride.com for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
.com. Okay, and then feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below. Let us know what other digital tips and tricks you have for organizing your life. Are you a big Google Keep user? Do you judge me for using OneNote? Because I don't care. OneNote's not a bad notebook product. And then, of course, be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Ala, Amos is saying the G Basilisk. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And this is Baduy Pride. Thank you, everyone. Oh, yeah, we're wearing Spock shirts. Good night. Kiss.